One of the other things he often says is that voters should trust his, quote, word as a Biden. Should they still?
Yes. The president.
This was a pretty big, defiant public pronouncement by him that he wasn't going to do this anymore.
I hear you, and I understand. But the president wrestled with this. He truly did. And, you know, I called out the USGov poll where 64% of Americans, that's not a small number, agree with the president's decision to pardon his son. And I think that gives you a little bit of a tiny window of where the American people are on that.
Also, just very specifically,
it's not only colleagues who watch this. There's also the American people.
Exactly.
So to be fair,
and they were told by you in July that this would not happen, and it did. I'm saying, asking for yourself, not the presidency, but for yourself. Do you feel like you are owed an apology by the president? Do you owe an apology to the American people?
Zeke, I just laid out the president's thinking. The president laid it out himself in his own words. He did. He laid out how he wrestled with this decision. He said in his statement, as a president, as a father, he talked about how difficult it was to make this decision. He thought about it this weekend. He did. He thought about it this weekend. He wrestled with it. And there are some, factors, some real factors that he took into consideration. And that's why I keep saying folks should just take a look. Take a look. Read his statement. And I know what I said. I know what the president said. That is where we were at the time. That is where the president was at the time. I am his spokesperson. This weekend, he thought about it. He wrestled with it. And made this decision. That's what I can tell the American people.
Why should they have any confidence in anything else?
I think the American people understand, and I think they understand how difficult this decision would be. And I would actually add, and I think it's important to note here as you're asking me these questions, important questions to ask, that there was a poll, a USGov poll that came out, that some of you all reported on it, and it said 64% of the American people agree with the pardon.
He sidestepped a judge and a jury's decisions on the cases involving his son. He criticized the political nature of the prosecution. The next president has spent the last several years vowing to upend the Justice Department and the FBI. Looking at their current and future presidents, why should any American continue to have confidence in the American justice system?
Well, the president does have confidence in the American justice system, and he said that in his statement. Certainly continues to have confidence in the Department of Justice.
Leaders who single out incidents that involve them or their families and say, well, they're not being fair to me, but the rest of you should agree.
Can I just be very blunt here? The situation with Hunter Biden and what the incoming president has said are very different.
But they're making similar arguments, which is that they've been unfairly prosecuted because of who they are.
I don't think those two things are the same. I just don't. They're not the same. They're just not. And I think the American people understand that. I do. I do think they believe and understand that they're not the same. What the president's son had to go through, and what we've heard from legal experts, former U.S. attorneys general, who look at this case, who understand this case, and have said, there would not be this situation. And I think that's important to note as well. And they've been very clear about this. We've heard from many of them, legal experts, former U.S. attorneys from across the country, again, have all agreed virtually no one would be criminally prosecuted with felony offenses with these facts. I talked about these facts as it relates to the gun charges and tax cases that obviously Hunter Biden's case. And so that is, we can take their word for it. We can take their word for it.